Hello. I really couldn't sleep. It's like like, I haven't been making videos or anything like that. Um, I haven't been making videos because I really, I really don't know what to talk about, I guess. Life has just been lifing, and life has just been lifing, and I guess, I don't know, I don't know. I don't know. Life has just been lifing, and everything is just so social media. Everything is just so social media, and you know, the summer has gone by so fast, so quick. Um, you know, I I assume everyone enjoyed their summer up to this point. Um, I don't know. It's just so hard for me to like. I don't know. I've been going through so. You know what? It's crazy because I've just been going through so many things. Like, this whole like, and I don't even like talking about the whole like gang stalking situation and all that and this and that. But it's like I've been going through so much stuff that it's almost like this force, this invisible force that's just been like coming up against me, like setting up so many little different obstacles, like almost to like get me distracted, like just having me so distracted to where I can't really focus on one task at hand, because soon as I get to focus on something, something else just comes along, and something's just been throwing me off. And it's kind of like this force. You could feel it, like you could just feel it, like this energy. And it's been a lot, but I've still been hanging in there, and I've been taking care of my mother, that is now on, is it hospice? Yeah. So um her health has declined a little bit, then it got a little bit better, and it's just been kind of all over the place. And with this whole gang stalking thing, if you have been gang stalked, or you think you've been gang stalked, a lot of your family members are like used and turned against you. And at some point she was used and turned against me, and I like stopped talking to her and left the state. And then, you know, last year I found out she was kind of ill, and then she came to visit, and then she kind of stayed, and then she wanted to go back. I sent her back, and then she went to the hospital when she went back, and the social worker from the hospital called and said if no one took her in, they were going to place her. So I kind of let her come back. And all I want to say is that forgiveness. Like, you know how you can say you forgive someone? You can say you forgive someone out of your mouth. Like, I forgive this person. I forgive you. But true forgiveness, like walking in true forgiveness, looks so different. Like, um, it it just has been a lot because um, helping her, because I am her only child, and even though she was used against me in my targeting, it's my mother. She gave birth to me. I love her. Um, so I always was trying to like please her even as a child. And it just had been hard. It was kind of hard, trying to take care of someone when they have traumatized you. And now that person's mindset is not how it used to be. Now this person is like really sweet and kind, and just it just it's just like a real raw lesson. So even going through the targeting, you have to decide, um because when you're going through the targeting, God separates you from so many people, your family, because your family's used to target you as well. So you get separated from so many people, and then at some point, I guess it's a test. You're tested again. At some point, some of those people revolve back into your life, and it's either up to you to either let them in or not let them in. Um, so do I think I made the right decision of letting my mother back into my life? Um, I do. But do I think it is harder to forgive than what I thought it was? Yes. Um, it's a difference because you can verbally forgive someone, but true forgiveness, what does true forgiveness look like? Um, so just walking through that true forgiveness and that trauma, I guess like some of the wounds were still open, even though, my mouth said that I forgave her and forgive her. Um, to really have to care for a person that really traumatized you a lot, um, where they have to be dependent on you, um, kind of, has been a big deal. But God has definitely been getting me through, and getting her through, you know. Um, so yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, and you know, it's where I'm at, and it's kind of like just going through all this stuff. I kind of like don't really have a social life. I don't even think I had just this whole like gang stalking, targeted individual thing, and then going from state to state, and then now caring for my mother that was a part of my targeting, and just trying to get out of the whole mind frame of the United States government is targeting me and all this stuff. It sounds so, you know, the whole targeting and gang stalking thing really sounds crazy. It does. So I try not to even talk about it or let it bother me, but it does. You know, it just does. And people that haven't experienced it or gone through it really are never going to understand the gist of it. And I'm not saying that people that have gone through it should be stuck or stagnant in that mindset, because it doesn't help. It doesn't help at all. But maybe it's kind of harder for others to socialize. You know, some people that go through traumatic events or, you know, certain things, you know, it's easy for them to get back out there and deal with people or forgive people and try to make friends or make connections or be kind and love, walk in kindness and love. But my experience through all of this has made me very bitter. Um, and so I'm not as kind and I'm not as open to others. Um, and I am a child of God and I do love God. And it's so crazy because the devil is so crafty, you know. The stuff that I went through, um, he used so many different people against me, and it made me bitter. And so, being a child of God, God is of love and kindness and forgiveness. So it's kind of hard to walk in the image of Jesus if I'm holding on to bitterness and anger. So I just, you know, just pray that, I just pray that I get through that. I just get out of bitterness and anger, you know. It's not healthy. It's not healthy and it's no fun. And I'm no fun to be around. And, you know, I'm not happy like I once was, I guess, you know. And, you know, I want to be happy, you know, and I want to make other people happy, you know. That's what life is all about, is just life is about learning and teaching and being happy and sharing our experiences with one another and growing. It's not, you know, being stuck and stagnant in, you know, what happened to you or your trauma, you know, because this is life and so many people have traveled through so many different things in life, you know? And I just wish, you know, I just wish that there's someone that I could maybe conversate with that got through anger and bitterness, you know? How you know, how do you get through anger and bitterness? That is just like the hardest thing to get through. Like, um, it has not been easy for me to get out of this. And you know, I look at life like levels. Like there's so many levels to life. Like, you know, we all go through so many different experiences. We go through most of the same things, and people are just affected differently, and people have different coping skills to get through certain things. And some of us can go through stuff and we can just bounce back and flourish and thrive. And others of us go through stuff and get stuck and stagnant, and we don't thrive, as good as we should or could. Um, and it's kind of like we cut ourselves off from society and the world because of what we went through or what we experienced and how we were treated. And that's no way to live life. This experience, life experience, is to be lived. It's to be lived. Even though we travel through obstacles and traumas and situations, we're supposed to learn off of one another and grow. And not be stuck and stagnant and bitter and angry. I think, honestly, I have physically aged from bitterness and being angry. And I thought that was just like a myth. I thought people just would say stuff like that. Like, this person's aged because of this or that. But no, literally, just holding on to bitterness is horrible. Like, I could be the most sweetest, kindest person, and it could just take one thing for someone to pee me off. And that's it. That's it. That's it. You know, I've tried to, I often wonder why. Like, why has a certain group of us been allowed to go through this gang stalking or this targeted individual battle or whatever, however you want to see it? Um, why were we chosen for this, or why were we picked? Um, Either way, no matter why we were, the 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 gist of it is we were picked for it. No matter how we look at it, no matter who believes us, no matter if you look at it as a spiritual thing or not a spiritual thing, or if people just assume that we're